Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Short show today, WNBA playoffs, MLB soccer, NFL power rankings, Dancing with the Stars, Survivor, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the WNBA playoffs. We have 2 games to go over. Both results not surprising, to say the least. The Liberty come back from a deficit to beat the Dream 91-82 to win the series 2-0 as they'll advance to the semifinals. Sabrina Ionescu at 36, Alicia Gray at 26 in defeat. And then the Aces beat the Storm 83-76. The Storm covered a number, but the Aces win the game exactly like how I thought, as Vegas wins the series 2-0 as they advance to take on the New York Liberty in the WNBA Finals rematch. It stinks that we're getting this in the second round. That's what happened because the Aces underachieved in the regular season. Kelsey Plum at 29 for Vegas and Gabby Williams at 20 for Seattle. We have 2 more games tonight. 7:30 ESPN Fever Sun, so Caitlin Clark's season on the line against the Connecticut Sun and Dewana Bonner. Should be a really good game. I don't think the Fever are going to go down easy. The Sun are 6-point favorites, totals 163.5. I'm going to take the Fever getting the 6. I just think that they're going to come ready to go. I don't know if they'll win the game outright, Indiana, but I think they're going to show a lot of heart, and Caitlin's going to play her ass off. So I'm going to take Indy plus the 6. And 9:30 ESPN, Game 2, Mercury Lynx. The Lynx are giving 9, totals 161.5. This is a swan song for Diana Taurasi, and I think they want that home game really bad. So I'm going to take the Mercury getting 9 points. So, Diana Taurasi can have a swan song at home before she retires. So I'm going to take Mercury getting 9. I don't know if they'll actually win the game, but I think they're going to play their butts off to try to get that win. They're plus 330 on the money line. I think one of those dogs are going to win outright tonight. I just don't know which one. All right, now move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to the games being played today. Tigers over the Rays 2-1, Cubs over the Phillies 10-4, Guardians over the Reds 6-1, Brewers over the Pirates 7-2, Royals over the Nats 1-0 in 10, Orioles over the Yankees 5-3, Red Sox over the Blue Jays 6-5 in 10, Braves over the Mets 5-1, White Sox over the Angels 3-2, Marlins over the Twins 4-1, Astros over the Mariners 4-3, Cardinals over the Rockies 7-3, Giants over the Diamondbacks 11-0, A's over the Rangers 5-4, Padres over the Dodgers 4-2. All right, we have a matinee game, 2 o'clock, Mariners Astros. George Kirby and Yasei Kikuchi. Mariners minus 132, Astros plus 112, over under 7, minus 110 each way. Mariners minus 1.5 plus 125, Astros plus 1.5 is minus 150. So Houston clinched the division last night, so it makes sense that Seattle's favored. You know it's going to be a letdown, so I'm actually going to lay the run line of Seattle, minus 1.5 at plus 125. 6 o'clock, Cubs, Phillies. Javier Assad and Christopher Sanchez. Phil's minus 188, Cubs plus 158, over under 8, minus 10 each way. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 34, Phil's minus 1.5 plus 112. I like the under. 6:30, Reds, Guardians. Jacob Junis and Joey Cantillo. Guardians minus 142, Reds plus 120, over under 8, overs minus 26, unders minus 114. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 76, Guardians minus 1.5 plus 46. Cleveland's still playing for the 1 seed with the Yankees. They're 2 back in the loss column. Yankees lost yesterday, so as much as I kind of want to take Cincinnati plus 120, I'm not. I'm going to lay that off, and I'm going to take the under instead. Brewers, Pirates, Freddie Peralta and Luis Ortiz. Brewers minus 146, Pirates plus 124, over under 7.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Brewers -1.5 plus 112. Pirates +1.5 is -134. I'm going to go with the over. Rays Tigers. Zach Little and Kiner Montero. Tigers -116. Rays -102. Over under 8. Overs -8. Unders -112. Rays -1 plus 62. Tigers +1.5 is -196. I have to take the Tigers at -116. 6:45. Royals Nats. Michael Lorenzen and DJ Hers. Royals -118. Nats even money. Over under 7.5. Overs -120. Unders -102. Royals -1.5 plus 132. Nats +1.5 is -62. I'm going to go with the Royals at -118. 7 o'clock, O's Yankees. Zach Eflin, Nestor Cortez. The O's clinched last night with the win. The Yanks are -142. The O's are +120. Over under 7.5. Overs -122. Unders even money. O's +1.5 is -170. Yankees -1.5 plus 40. I'm going with the Yankees on the run line. They bounced back and they clinched the division tonight. The O's, they celebrated thinking they weren't going to win that division. Red Sox, Blue Jays. Richard Fitz and Kevin Gausman. Jays -134. Red Sox +114. Over under 8. Overs -115. Unders -105. Sox +1.5 is -94. Jays -1.5 plus 160. I'm going with the Red Sox straight up +114. 7:20 Mets Braves. David Peterson, Chris Sale. Braves -188. Mets +158. Over under 7.5 -110 each way. Mets +1.5 is -38. Braves -1.5 plus 116. I like the under. 7:30 Angels White Sox. Jose Suarez and Davis Martin. Angels -116. White Sox -102. Over under 8.5. Overs +102. Unders -124. Angels -1.5 plus 140. White Sox +1.5 is -170. I'm going to go with the Angels -116. Only because the White Sox, I know the record and everything. I just don't see them winning back-to-back. Marlins Twins. Edward Cabrera and Simeon Woods Richardson. Twins -196. Marlins +164. Over under 8.5. Overs even money. Unders -122. Marlins +1.5 is -122. Twins -1.5 plus 102. I'm going to go with the over at even money. 8:30 Cards Rockies. Eric Feed and Austin Gomber. Cards -126. Rockies +108. Over under 10. Overs -118. Unders -104. Cards -1.5 plus 122. Rocks +1.5 is -46. Like the under. Nolan Arenado, anytime home run's interesting. He's at his old team. 9:30 Giants D-backs. Mason Black, Zach Gallen. D-backs -225. Giants +188. Over under 8.5. Overs -112. Unders -108. Giants +1.5 and Diamondbacks -1.5 is -10 each way. I'm going to go with the over, although the Diamondbacks should be the answer to that question. Wow, they're tied in the loss column now, the Diamondbacks and the Braves. Diamondbacks are in trouble. Rangers A's. Cody Bradford, Brady Basso. A's -116. Wow, they're favored. The Rangers -102 over under 7.5. Overs -6. Unders -114. Rangers -1.5 plus 155. A's +1.5 is -184. I like the A's -116. And last but not least, 10 o'clock Padres Dodgers. Dylan Cease and Jack Flaherty. Dodgers -138. Padres +118. Over under 7.5. Overs -122. Unders even money. Padres +1.5 is -188. Dodgers -1.5 plus 155. I'm going with the Padres here straight up at +118. They got the win last night. I think they're going to do it again to make the Dodgers sweat just a little bit. All right, now we'll do soccer. We'll go over results of note from yesterday and look ahead to today. So we'll start with La Liga. Sevilla over Valladolid 2-1. Valencia Osasuna 0-0 draw. Real Madrid over Alaves 3-2. All right, 2 games today. 1 o'clock, you have Girona and Rayo. Girona -150, Rayo +410, draw +280. We'll go with the draw +280. And then 3 o'clock, Barcelona Getafe. Barcelona 6-1, Getafe's 11-1, the draw's +550. And I mean 6-1 favorites. And we'll go over 3.5 goals. at plus 132. Trying to figure out who else is playing today in soccer. Is it? Yeah, USL 10:30 Orange County Phoenix. I'm gonna pull that up. So Orange County plus 90, Phoenix minus 150, the draw plus 250. Phoenix is the better team. And I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at plus 102. And also tonight, 10:30, you have the U.S. Open Cup final, LAFC and KC. LA minus 260, KC 6-1, the draws plus 350. LAFC's had so many experience in these big games, you know that they're going to show up and out. I'm going to do under 2.5 goals, though, at even money. I think they win 2-0 or 1-0. Or if it's 2-1, I lose, but I'm going to go to LAFC. The Capanas Cup is tonight, too, at 7:30 of Columbus and America. Trying to find odds for that one. I can't believe I can't find that. I don't have the odds in front of me. I think Columbus is going to win. We have the Kings Cup today as well. So yesterday's results, Halal over Bukaira 1-0. Jabalain over Fateh 2-0. Shabab over Khalud 3-1. And Idiot over Ain 3-0. Today, 11:30, Al Najma and Damak. I think Damak wins. Abba and Al Tawoon, I'm going to go with the draw. 2 o'clock, Jeddah and Al Raid. Al Raid's going to win that. And then Al Safa and Al Riyadh. And we go with Al Riyadh in that one. The Carabao Cup today. We had games yesterday, too. Man City over Watford 2-1. Leicester Walsall 0-0 draw, but Leicester advances 3-0 on penalties. Chelsea over Barrow 5-0, and Aston Villa over Wycombe 2-1. 2 games today, 2:45. You have Arsenal and Bolton. Arsenal minus 11.50. Bolton is 16-1. The draws plus 8.50. Arsenal's going to win. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at minus 114. And 3 o'clock is Liverpool West Ham. Liverpool's minus 3.50. West Ham is 7-1. The draws plus 4.30. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at minus 102. All right, Europa League today. League phase begins 12:45. You have Bodo Glimt and FC Porto. Porto's minus 120. Bodo Glimt is 3-1. The draws plus 270. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 124. AFC Alkmaar and Elfsborg. AFC Alkmaar's minus 220. Elfsborg is 5-1. The draws plus 340. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 126. 3 o'clock is Galatasaray and PAOK. Galatasaray's minus 165. PAOK is plus 410. The draws plus 310. I'm going to go over 3.5 at plus 130. Ludogorets and Slavia Prague. Ludogorets is 3-1. Slavia is minus 110. The draws plus 340. I'm going to go with Slavia at minus 110. Manchester United and FC 20. Man United minus 430. FC 20 is plus 950. The draw is 5-1. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals plus 112. Nice and Real Sociedad. Nice plus 140. Real Sociedad plus 220. Draws plus 195. I'm going to go with Nice and plus 140. Mitch Island and Hoffenheim. Mitch Island plus 130. Hoffenheim plus 170. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go with Mitch Island at plus 130. Dynamo Kyiv and Lazio. Lazio plus 125. Dynamo plus 220. Draw plus 210. I'm going to go with the draw plus 210. Anderlecht and Ferencvaros. Anderlecht is plus 125. Ferencvaros is plus 210. The draw is plus 420. I'm going to go with the draw at plus 220. So, there you have it for the soccer for today. Now I'm going to do the NFL Power Rankings. I'm going to do it as quick as possible. I'm just going to run down the list, go over what the team did last week, and look at the next week. All right, number 32 is the Tennessee Titans. They're 0-3, coming off that bad loss to the Packers coming up. They are at the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. It was the worst game of the week in what is a rematch of the Will Levis game from last year, in which they came back to beat the Dolphins outright on Monday Night Football, ironically enough. 31 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're 0-3, coming off that humiliating loss against the Bills on Monday night. Coming up, they play the Texans, I think, at Houston. 30 is the New England Patriots. They are 1-2 on the year, coming off with the Thursday night loss against the Jets. They're at the Niners next. 29 is the Miami Dolphins. They're 1-2, coming off the loss to Seattle. They host the Titans next, as we just talked about. 28th, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're 1-2, coming off that really bad loss against the Panthers. Coming up for Vegas, they host the Browns. 26th, the Chicago Bears. They're 1-2, coming off the loss against the Colts. Coming up for Chicago, they are home against the Rams. 25 is the New York Football Giants. They are 1-2 on the year, coming off the win against the Browns. Coming up, they play at home tomorrow night against the Cowboys on Thursday night, a rematch of the 40-0 game that was in primetime last year. 24 is the Denver Broncos. They're also 1-2, coming off the win over the Bucs. Coming up for Denver, they're also at MetLife Stadium, except on Sunday against the New York Football Jets. 23 is the Indianapolis Colts. They're 1-2, coming off a much-needed first win against the Bears. Coming up for Indy, they play, I think they're home again. Maybe they're on the road. They're home Steelers. That was the first one I had to cheat. 22 is the Cleveland Browns. They're 1-2, coming off that bad loss at home against the Giants. Next up, they're at the Raiders. 21 is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 0-3. Yes, I have an 0-3 team out of the bottom 10 because I look at that Chiefs game, a game that they should have won. The Patriots game is weird, and maybe they should be lower, but I can't justify it yet. Coming up for Cincy, they are at the Panthers, a game that they absolutely have to win. Oh my goodness. Number 20 is the San Francisco 49ers. They are 1-2 in the year, coming off that bad loss against the Rams, which they blew a double-digit fourth quarter lead in. Coming up, they host the Patriots. Number 19 is Los Angeles Rams. They're 1-2. Got the win over the 49ers at home. Coming up for the Rams, they're at the Bears. Number 18 is the Dallas Cowboys. They're 1-2, coming off the home loss against the Ravens. Next up, Thursday Night Football against the Giants. They should win that game. They won 40-0 there last year on the first Sunday night game of the year. 17 is the Baltimore Ravens. They are, I almost said Los Angeles Chargers because I had Harbaugh in my head. 1-2, they're coming off the win over the Cowboys. Next up for the Ravens, they host the Bills on Sunday Night Football. 16 is the Atlanta Falcons. They're 1-2, coming off the loss against the Chiefs. Game they should have won. That's probably why the Falcons are this high. And then they beat the Eagles. took advantage of the Eagles' mistakes. And then coming up for Atlanta, they are hosting the Saints. 15's the Arizona Cardinals. They're 1-2. They lost at home against the Lions. Coming up for Arizona, they host the Commanders. Speaking of the Commanders, they're 14. They're 2-1, coming off the win over the Bengals. That was their best performance yet. They're at Arizona next in what should be a really good game. 13, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 2-1 in the year, coming off a bad home loss against Denver. Coming up for Tampa, they host the Eagles in a playoff rematch. 12 is the New Orleans Saints. They are 2-1, coming off the home loss against Philly. They're at Atlanta next. Number 11 is the Los Angeles Chargers. They are 2-1 in the year. They lost at Pittsburgh. Justin Herbert, we'll see if he plays next week. And coming up for the Chargers, they host the Chiefs. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game. Number 10 is the Houston Texans. I almost said Los Angeles Chargers again, because I was looking at Chargers. Texans are 2-0, coming off a really stinker of a game at Minnesota. Coming up for Houston, they host the Jaguars. 9's the Green Bay Packers. They're coming off a good good performance, I should say, over Tennessee. Next up, they host the Vikings. Hopefully they get Jordan Love back for that one, because if not, I wouldn't have trusted them against Minnesota. 8 is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are 2-1 of the year, coming off that close win over the Saints. Next up for Philly, they're at the Bucs in the playoff rematch. Number 7 is the Seattle Seahawks. They are 3-0 in the year, coming off the win over Miami. Yeah, 3-0 teams this low. That's because they beat no Tua Dolphins, one of the worst teams in the league in New England, and a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. That's not impressive for me. Sorry. How about go beat the Lions in Detroit? Maybe I'll give you a little respect on Monday night. And then the Lions are 6. They're coming off the win at Arizona game, which they kind of had to have secretly. And then they host the Seahawks on Monday Night Football coming up. The Jets are 5. They're 2-1, coming off the win over New England. Next up, they host the Broncos at home. Number 4 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 3-0. They just got their first home win of the year over the Chargers. Coming up for Pittsburgh, they are at Indy. Feels kind of trappy, right? Number 3 is the Minnesota Vikings. They're 3-0, coming off the win over the Texans. And they're at Green Bay next, which is going to be tough, especially if Jordan Love's back. 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 3-0, coming off the Sunday night win over Atlanta. You could argue Minnesota over the Chiefs, but I'm not willing to go there yet. Can't do that to Patrick Mahomes. Coming up for them, they're at the Chargers. That's not going to be an easy game. And then number 1 is the Buffalo Bills. They're 3-0. A demolition over the Jaguars on Monday night was so impressive. And then coming up for them, they are at the Ravens, in which is going to be a really awesome game. All right, now move on to Dancing with the Stars. Good episode last night. We had our first elimination of the season. And it was a double elimination. So 2 pairs were eliminated. So it was Oscars night as they danced to a song from an Academy Award nominated film. All right, so this was the order they performed. Jen and Sasha did a tango to A Little Party Never Killed Nobody. I love that song from The Great Gatsby. And they got a 19. It was a tango. Eric and Britt did a waltz to The Godfather waltz from The Godfather. They got a 15. Danny and Whitney did a jive to Danger Zone from Top Gun. They got a 21. Anna and Ezra did a quick step to Suddenly I See from The Devil Wears Prada. They got a 17. Chandler and Brandon did a rumba to What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish from Barbie. They got a 24. Reginald and Emma did a paso doble to Ode to Joy from Die Hard. They got a 15. Stephen and Riley did a paso doble to Superman from Superman. They got a 22. Joey and Jenna did a rumba to Shallow from A Star Is Born. Got a 22. Phaedra and Bell did a foxtrot to And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going from Dreamgirls and got a 21. Tori and Pasha did a rumba to This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. They got a 19. Dwight and Daniela did a foxtrot to City of Stars from La La Land and got a 22. Brooks and Gleb did a quick step to 9 to 5 from 9 to 5 and got a 20. And that's obviously the big Dolly Parton hit. And Iona and Alan did a salsa to I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing and got a 21. I really liked Alana and Alan's performance this week. So the three couples that were in the bottom three were Anna and Ezra, Reginald and Emma, and Tori and Pasha. And Reginald and Emma were safe. They should not have been safe. They should have been eliminated. They did not have that great of a performance. I think that Tori and Pasha should have stayed on the show. I disagree with this elimination tonight. So there's no Dancing with the Stars next week because of the vice presidential debate that's taking place on Tuesday. So the 7th and the 8th, which makes sense. And there's no Monday Night Football on ABC on the 7th. So it makes sense for Dancing with the Stars to do a double or two-night event the following week. So it's Soul Train Night and Hair Metal Night the next two. So I disagree with the elimination in terms of one of the pairs that went home. And I think Phaedra and Val, that was my preseason pick to win. So at least I still have that going for me. All right, Survivors tonight as well. We talked about the episode from last week. On Monday. So the reward challenge in the first episode is that the players had to race out to a jungle, 2 members at a time, to get heavy puzzle pieces, and they worked together to do the 3D puzzle. First tribe to solve the puzzle won a pot, a machete, and a flint. Gato won the challenge, as we talked about, and then they did away with the Sweat and Savvy for this season. We didn't even bring that up on the Monday show. They did something else. They had to find 4 keys from across the island instead. As we alluded to on Monday's show. And then Immunity Challenge, which was also a reward, as that they paddled a boat to shore, collecting 3 heavy chests along the way, and they pushed the chests across a track and used the puzzle pieces inside to assemble a large Survivor logo puzzle. And the first 2 tribes to finish won immunity, plus the winner got the larger kit and the smaller kit went to second. And we talked about it. Lavo, Cruz, Tuku came in second after a disastrous turn, which almost cost him the game. And then we talked about Andy getting medical for heat exhaustion, and he had just had a mental letdown. And then Tribal came around as Gato went to Tribal, and then John got voted off. So tonight's show, I predicted Rome to get voted off, and my winner pick right now is Rachel. I just think she's shown the most leadership so far among the cast, and that's why I decided to go with her. And I did my other superlatives from the last episode on the Monday show. All right, now move on to the news and notes for today. So the Dolphins are not into a quarterback trade, as they're unlikely to pursue a short-term Tua replacement at this point. Sports Illustrated is reporting that Bill Belichick is linked to the Jaguars job, as he could replace Doug Peterson in 2025. Stephen Ruiz of The Ringer called this. He's been red hot with hot takes. He predicted the Bryce Young benching. He predicted the Jaguars to be bad. And now he's predicting Belichick to go there. He's been on fire. Bad news for Real Madrid. Mbappe's out 3 weeks and will miss games against Atletico Lille and Valladolid. Rafael Varane retires at 31. That's crazy. I thought he had a lot more time left as a player. UNLV quarterback Matt Sluka sitting out to redshirt despite 3-0 start over representations that were not upheld. Rowdy Tellez got cut before a $200,000 bonus as he got released from the Pirates 4 plate appearances shy of the performance bonus. They're just a freaking cheap organization. And the White Sox might promote Grady Sizemore. That's crazy. They shouldn't. I mean, you still lost 120 games for crying out loud. No offense to Grady Sizemore, but the White Sox need to start afresh. I'm sorry. The Dodgers are calling up their number 15 prospect, Edgardo Henriquez, as they try to clinch the division. The Pirates also designated Michael A. Taylor for assignment. The Orioles optional like Jimenez. That obviously did not work out for them. How about this? The Padres had a triple play as they clinched the playoffs last night. That's how they ended the game. I didn't realize that that's how they clinched. The Red Sox to keep the yellow and blue jerseys as they're retiring the blue jerseys. So there was no say on the Caitlin Clark snub, as Reeves said she had no power over roster selection. WNBA coaching news, the Sparks part ways with Kurt Miller after 2 seasons, so they're going to be looking for another head coach. CeeDee Lamb apologizes for performance and outburst, an argument with Dak on the sideline during the Ravens game. Dan Campbell's leak cause revealed as a police said a classmate of Dan Campbell's daughter shared post of family's address on social media. That's not ideal. If you know somebody famous, you shouldn't be sharing the personal information like that. Aaron Judge is 7 homers shy for breaking his own record, 6 away from tying it as he hit his 56th homer of the year last night. So the Yankees have 5 games left, and Judge is 6 home runs away. Let's see if he does. He doesn't. The Yankees gave Josh Hart a number 32 jersey in honor of great uncle who was a former Yankee. I didn't realize it was because of a family member. But that's really nice. So the Knicks are on Nick Richards. That'd be a really good trade ad for the Knicks. They need a big. And Mitchell Robinson's not going to be ready for the start of the season. And he can't be relied on. Kawhi Leonard underwent knee procedure as he'll be limited to start training camp. He might not be ready to start the year. I've heard that thrown out there. Rangers goaltender Igor Shesterkin can get a huge extension as the Rangers indicated to Shesterkin's camp that they're open to paying him over $10.5 million a year. That's way too much money. I'm sorry, and I love Shesterkin. So the Mets were considering Luis Angel Acuna trades at the deadline as offers were seriously listened. They would have gotten a big player back or a pitcher. Brad Stevens says that Kristaps Porzingis is making progress, very optimistic about the recovery from leg injury. Donovan Mitchell calls predictions about him getting left off the 2028 USA team BS. Austin Riley's done for the season as he broke his hand. It's not healed enough. That's brutal. Malik Neighbors done talking about Diggs as he's focusing on Thursday night matchup after social media beef with Diggs. You can't do that. You can't get into social media beefs with their opponents. That's karma. Or it could be karma the other way, too. Trent Brown out for the season with a torn patellar tendon. Not good for Cincinnati. Saints center Eric McCoy out 6 to 8 weeks with groin surgery. That's not good for New Orleans. Adam Thielen going on IR as he has a hamstring injury. Eli trolls the Manning family as he racks to arch his first collegiate start. And Brett Favre has Parkinson's as he reveals recent diagnosis during the congressional testimony. So thoughts and prayers go out to Brett Favre. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to the schedule. This is a hard one. I am going to go to baseball. I don't remember what I bet for best bet last night. I have to be honest. I don't remember what I took. I think... So it looks like best bet won. Oh, no, it didn't. I had the Twins on the run line. They lost to Miami. That was a terrible pick. So I'm going to go to baseball for best bet. And I am going to go with the under in the Mets game. David Peterson, Chris Sale, both these guys have been really good. I'm only going to lay 50th of a unit on it. So under 7.5 minus 1 time between the Braves and the Mets for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look at everything tomorrow, including Thursday night football between the Cowboys and the Giants. And we have college tomorrow night as well, so we're looking forward to that. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.